Hey ho, Radical Jack here. Day 42, I believe. I missed out yesterday, had to do a trip, and I did do one on the beach, but yeah, I was in a place called Enniscrone, and all the way over in Mayo, County Mayo, west coast, just below Sligo. And yeah, very windy, and coincidentally landed on a beach where six of us ran away from home when we were 14 in 1984. It was a classic 3 day missing, you know. We'd gone to Dublin to put them off the track, and our destination was always Enniscrone because one of the lads they had a caravan there, you know, this caravan park, and we had a couple of great nights away, and we tried our best, you know. Three of us hung on while one left us in Dublin, not feeling the real need to run away. Not that any of us had much of a need, you know, but it was just more for the adventure, I suppose, than anything else, you know. So yeah, that was yeah. Our last day was after we were told that they were coming to get us on the third day at the caravan park. Two of the lads decided to stay, and three of us decided to make our way back to Dublin. But we got caught in Mullingar, which is where I'm living at the moment. So it's interesting, and it was just interesting to pass that beach yesterday, and I was like, oh my God, I don't think I've been back here since then. It's quite possible that I've not been in Enniscrone since then. So very interesting, you know. So yeah, cycles and memories and all things strange and weird and wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I'm in a much better mood now. You know, it's pretty obvious, right, that little dump of food really affected me, which, you know, just proves the point. You know, we don't listen sometimes, and you know, isn't it great that we can stand on the shoulders of giants and, you know, have all this information given to us or fed to us by those around us, or maybe YouTube today. There's so much information out there; it's fantastic, you know, and you know, and there's an upside and a downside to that, you know, because you can get caught up in just, you know, continuously looking at information and then never act, you know. So, like everything, it's all about a fine balance, you know. So I'm in a good space today. This is my fourth day. You know, and some of the things that I have watched or information that did come through over the years or recently, it still didn't stop me from, you know, the relapse that I had in the way that it happened, you know, because I put meat and sugar back in my system, and, you know, after almost, well, over four weeks, almost 5 weeks of pretty much one vegan meal a day, you know, apart from the mashed potatoes and the butter, you know, in the first relapse, and you know, the little bits of dried fruit and nuts that I'd kind of sampled during, at least they were within the 1 hour. But I mean, yeah, I did have you know, I had three relapses in all, really, in 5 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. So, but the last one was a big one. It lasted 8 days. So, but there you go. You know, humor me, humor myself. You know, it's all part of the process. You know, and you know, I got into thinking there for a while as well. You know, maybe I'll just start again and aspire for impeccability. You know, the fact that there was 39 days gone and 49 days to go. This is just at the start of the 3 day fast. I've just finished a 3 day fast of water now, and today's the fourth day, and I'm about to eat my first meal, back to the kind of one vegan meal a day. So, you know, basically, I got into this thing in my head where, you know, maybe I could do, just coincidentally, like it landed on such a beautiful super day that I was like, okay, 39 days gone, 49 days to go. Well, let me have seven weeks of impeccability, and that will be good, you know. And then I got to counting up until midsummers, which is in and around the 21st of June. And so 39 days had gone, 49 days to go, and another 39 days on those 49 days would bring me up to midsummers. And fair shout in my mind, I was like, you know what? I was so determined to have this impeccability that I was going to go. I'm going to do that long haul, but I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you on the 49th day that I'm going to continue. And now, like I had 3 days of real determination, and with a little bit of a text and chat with a friend, I realized that we have to be careful as well. That we don't set these things too high for ourselves, and a little bit at a time. And maybe I just need to kind of relax and let go a little bit, and just kind of look. This is all part of the process. Maybe there's some people out there stop watching. Maybe there's because I've had little bits of feedback of I looked a bit wary and extra vulnerable, or haggard or whatever. It's just this is basically in my perception of this now is like that. Well, this is all part of the process. I definitely looked like 5 years older after throwing all this food back into me, and although I had a little bit of steam in the chit chat and stuff like that, I felt a bit ungrounded again, and whereas prior, I was starting to feel the light come back into my system, and the knockback has put me back. But you know what? I picked myself up again, and I'll move on, and I am determined now to have an impeccable 7 weeks, 49 days. I'm now. Okay, we've got 42 days, so in 2 days it's halfway, and 49 days will be amazing if I can keep it at that, and then hopefully that's enough to. It brings me to the 14th of May, where I can move into the kind of summer diet, of salads and fruits, and try and keep it seasonal, and I don't know if I can keep it vegan, but certainly vegetarian, and if it is vegetarian, it's going to be raw milk. Very, very much, really good goat's cheese, organic, and I'm gonna search out high quality foods if I need that little bit of a break between not having any meat, and then as I said before, I'm gonna relook at in the autumn as to whether I'm gonna be part of that meat. Now it's grand, beautiful men out there like Non Amun Ra and all the vegans that are already existing on the planet. I mean it might be that it's a little bit more difficult for an Irish person in a kind of wet and cold climate to continue on a vegan diet. So therefore vegetarian might be better, because we need fats, and maybe even pescatarian. Pescatarian is someone who eats fish. You don't have to go the full hog with the meat. But certainly, as I said before, in my mind anyway, I'll be focusing on wild meat if I'm going to eat it. John St. Julian put something up yesterday where he was speaking about a thing called super meat, which has 96% zero, needs 96% zero, or 90% less water, 96% less land. It's grown from stem cells, and this could be the future of meat. Where there's no animals harmed, and this is it's crazy what's going on out there in relation to what's potentially available. Right or wrong, we don't know about some of these things yet. But these things are coming. They're coming. Even he said, I'm not going to eat meat, he said, but he said, well, if you're going to be a meat eater, I can say this is one thing that I'm for, So, basically, I'm about to eat my first meal now for almost 4 days, you could say. And I'm very determined to, keep this focus. I noticed a lot of, chesty, stabbing pains, and lots of interesting things that happened by the food that I put back in my system, and various negativities, and there's definitely a correlation. There's no doubt about it. Like the food changes our mood, and we need to continue to look into this and research this. Now, my brother made a really good point today in relation to what's going on in there's a thing called Hospital. It was on the BBC. I haven't watched it, so I can't really. Hopefully, I just kind of summarize like some of the things that he said to me. And there's an explosion of elderly people in the world in relation to hospital beds. and some of them, you know, they're in their 90s, you know, and you know, senile dementia, and you know, literally taking up the hospital beds. Now, you know, people might talk about euthanasia and stuff like that. You know, I have no comments to make on that. You know, I just, me personally, man, if I'm a vegetable, you know, and I'm incompetent, you know, after a car crash, God, you know, it may never, you know, that it may never happen, you know. But if that happens to me, please put me down, you know. If I get to a certain age and I'm worthless, I'm not able to tell that story as that elder, and I'm dementia and completely, you know, don't keep me there. Put me down. Put me down. I'm cool with that, you know, because that's how I feel. But that is extreme. That's extreme, and because, like, you know, the point that was being made in this program about hospital was the, you know, there's 9-year-olds and young children waiting for those beds, so to speak, you know. And you know, they had a blackout or something like that, where for a while in England they had, or Britain, they had to close down all the hospitals and send all these consultants home. And you know, it just seems like everybody's ill, you know, in this place, you know. And it's to me, you know, the point of I mean, you need to watch the program yourself, but like what happened to me in my mind was like, you know, I feel like you know, maybe 90% of disease can be cured by fasting. And this is the reality, you know. I'm doing this because I'm trying to cure what's going on in me. I'm not telling you everything what's going on for me, you know. I have my own personal, you know, habits and pains and scares and fears, you know, towards like the damage that I might have done my own system, you know. So I'm trying to, you know, sort this out in the best possible way, you know. And this is the idea of doing this. I'm not doing this for extra likes or for you to, you know, for this. I don't care if this goes viral. I don't care if it never goes further than the few handful of people that are there. You know, you few handful of people may do something in your community, in your family, that may continue inspiring, you know. And there's enough people out there doing this kind of thing. So, you know, and it's all in the name of bringing things back into balance, you know. And that is the thing. So what are we those people that are in our 80s and 90s, like the explosion of elderly people that exist today? You know, because, you know, the modern medicine is it's got a pill for everything, you know, and we are outlasting. But, you know, I would much rather live till I was 88 than 108. You know, if I have a beautiful life to 88, rather than maybe even getting to 70 where or 80, I'm senile for 20, 30 years. You know, I'd rather have a good active life. You know, as my brother said, he goes up mountain climbing and walks with people. Some of them are 70, 75 years of age, and they put him to shame, you know, because they've led a good, healthy life. Now, these people are not going to be a strain on the hospital system and therefore create the problems that according to Attenborough, you know, is by 2050, it's going to be unbelievable what's coming. So, you know, we need to make this change. You know, this is not funny, you know. I have friends who want to make this into a funny thing, and I'm all for humor, you know, in lots of different areas, you know. But this is serious, guys, you know. It really is. Because it's like, you know, we're spinning out here. We are spinning out in so many different ways, you know. I mean, I don't know if I said this yesterday or the day before, or sorry if I said it the day before, because there's another quote my brother made, you know, in relation to this child as he's going through IKEA. This child's saying to this mom, "Wow, this is the most amazing. I love coming here. This is my favorite place in the whole world." IKEA. My brother couldn't believe how big this place was, and just the fact that, you know, there was just a humongous amount of people, you know, in this place. It's like, this is where everybody is, in the malls, shopping, shop till they drop. You know, 100, 200 people in a queue for the most shit food available to man. Make McDonald's look like a super restaurant, you know, a top class restaurant, you know. Certainly, you know, just to get my point across, yeah. So this is what we're dealing with here, you know, and we can, you know, we can cut down on everything by fasting and taking action, you know, because it's most of this is in our diet, you know. So this is how I feel today, and you know, if you fall and you fall again and again and again, just keep getting back up again, because, you know, this is the time. There's never been a time, you know, to get well and heal in a way that Doesn't require a strain of modern medicine and pills and things that just leave you and keep you there. God bless and peace and love.